All right, welcome back to part 4, guys. This has been a long episode so far, which has been absolutely nothing but us just going around and absolutely banging out wonders, great people, and completing the infrastructure. Um, and I'm going to admit, this is a bit slower than I had anticipated. Well, first let's get a harbor going here in Boston, because I thought I would have been breaking out military units by now. So we'll just keep working at it, and we will get there. The drill built, and let's see. What do we wanna, yeah, let's get a granary up. Just get that one square with food. And our submarine. It's got 13 attack power, or at least that's what it says. Actually, that'll be 18, I believe, once it's because of the veteran stat attached to it. Once it actually engages, but it's not a fast unit. Only moving 2 squares per turn, as you can see, and it's got no defense power. This submarine is as durable as a wooden galleon from way back in the day, so not much, which is why you protect it with these battleships. We've got 18. 27 when you add the veteran bonus. So let's drop off Enrico Fermi. Again, correct me on the name if I'm botching it. I'm sure I am. Put him in New York. And settle him. You know what? I totally forgot to check my science output from when we made the, from when we completed the, darn, I'm completely blanking out on my head. I'm just blanking out on names here. So much to think about. When we made the East India Company. Look at that. It was at 671, I believe, back then, a few turns ago. But we're now already at 1,052. It just shows you how quickly science can jump up. I mean, again, I've been trailing in science quite a bit, actually. Well, I've had the most technologies, but my science output, relatively speaking, has not been high, but now it's skyrocketing very quickly. Oh, in 1915. Little note here. The world is at peace, even though if this was historical, we should be in the middle of World War I right now. Even though I will admit, we're getting ready for it. Perhaps we'll be ready in time for World War II to start. Who knows? I could become the next Adolf Hitler. Who knows? Actually, no, that's not really an accurate description. If you actually want to be technical, the first nation, I believe, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I do believe the first nation to start being aggressive during that era was actually the Japanese when they invaded Manchuria. Well, that's history. This is civilization. And as a lot of my fans have been very eager to correct me on, I've apparently, or at least I've apparently been missing or making a couple of mistakes on my what I'm going to call historical footnotes, whether it be names or just little notes I've just tried to, or little just little FYI history notes, if you want to call it that, that I've been putting out there. Ah, well, it's all good. I've never called myself a history buff to begin with. Well, let's end this turn. Enough rambling. 1920. And the harbor's been built in Boston.
Follow.
What do we got for wonders here? Oh, by the way, the United Nations. I could literally just build that right now, or make a city build that, and once it's completed, I would win the game. Win it, end it, and this series could be all over and done in 6 turns if I wanted. But I don't want that. And I don't think you guys want it just yet either. Unless I take forever to upload the next episode, which I'm going to promise you guys will not happen. Alright, but in the meantime, let's just have you work on a market, get a quick building out there. Stuttgart gets its granary. And let's see. Let's get a wall up there, and then we're going to start shifting it to military units. King's Landing has a harbor now. So let's build a temple. Again, this is the phase of the game where you just start building things in rapid succession. So it takes a lot to follow here. So if I'm losing anyone or having trouble going into the detail that I have been, or if I just sound like I'm rushing, I apologize. Alright, let's just end the turn here. Yeah, we're just kind of speeding it up now. And this just in, sire. Government change. Oh, haven't had one of these in a couple turns. Indians have just replaced their democracy with a monarchy. And their palace culture will double as a result. I see. And we only need to build the United Nations wonder, and we will win a cultural victory. Alright, right. Oh, by the way, just got a nice little, frozen slushy here while I'm doing this recording. Need a good beverage when you're, really, really talking nonstop as much as I do. Exalted One. Our wise men have discovered the secrets of the automobile. Our cities can now utilize rubber resources, and we can build artillery units. Oh, our civilization is the first to discover the automobile. As a result, we received this bonus. Artillery built in Boston. So what are we going to go for next? I say we go for atomic theory. Lots of good choices here, but let's go for atomic theory. I was going to wait on this, but let's just go for the universities now. Increase that science output even more. Alright. Since none of these buildings really do anything for me right now, time to shift to making an army. No, we're not going to do modern infantry. Let's go for artillery. So as you see, artillery X6 times 6 will be completed next turn. I'm going to bang out at least 6, maybe 8 or 9. I can't remember how the system works here. Yep, actually, yes. If I were to press X right now to rush it, I would get 6 individual artillery pieces right now. So next turn, I could have 8 or 9 coming out in one turn. 3 new armies. An entire battle group is what I'm going to call it. Bismarck is threatening me. President Wyndham X. Your expansionist greed will be your downfall. However, if you give me 2,000 of your 4,321 gold pieces, I will leave you in peace. So you say, Bismarck. Sod off, I'm not scared of you. But you're willing to take this all the way. Excellent. I needed a test subject. Well, excellent, guys. We're finally gonna get a little bit of excitement in this episode. Bring it on, Bismarck. And I say we get right down to it immediately. Especially since I can prove a point, which I had been wanting to do for a little while. Which I'll explain in a moment. Where the hell are my artillery pieces? Oh, pfft. You know, they're not there because I didn't end the turn. My mistake. Let's do that right now. Rush our artillery. A conquering artillery army. Let's give you the blitz ability. King's own artillery. Let's give you the infiltration ability. The Royal Artillery. We're going to give you infiltration as well. The Majestic Artillery. Let's give you March. Merge them together to form the Lightning Artillery Army. Poised and ready to strike. The Fighting Artillery. Let's give you... Oh, by the way, what I've been referring to as siege weapons... Catapults, catapults, actually wait, no, never mind, scratch that, that would have actually been a lie. A key thing about the medic ability, not all units actually need it. There are a number of units that actually automatically heal after each battle. I was about to say all the siege weapons do, but that's actually not true because catapults do and artillery does, but cannon does not. Cannon needs to heal. So, units that it's weird and there's no good reason for it, but units that do not need to heal and therefore the medic ability is useless for are artillery, tanks, bombers, catapults. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. All ships. No naval craft ever needs to heal, whether it's a fleet or a single. And I believe that is it. I could be mistaken, but off the top of my head, that's all that's coming to my mind. So yeah, no naval craft. Bombers don't need it. Artillery doesn't need it. Tanks don't need it, and catapults don't need it. They do not heal. They automatically restore to full strength after a battle. Everything else, if it's wounded, needs to heal. So since we don't need medic, give it scout. Levels to see inside the city. And last but not least, the immortal artillery, which is perfect. Blitz. Alright, so let's take a look here. So we're just going to put some units on that square. And let's see. Yeah, we'll leave it with just those 3 units. I could send more, but I'll hold back. Alright, now I want to make a very key point here, which I know I can't think of what his name was off the top of my head, but he had been wanting to see this for a little while. Alright, in earlier episodes, I had made a point about the why it's not a good idea to build roads to connect your cities unless you're absolutely certain you can either, one, completely defend them, or unless you can't defend a city without doing it. Because I want to show you this. Stuker, this was Bismarck City, and he built a road connecting it to Salzburg over there. So, why is this road a weakness? Well, because I can just do this. The road is now my easy path to the rest of his civilization. So I'm just going to... No, he's got riflemen. So, while I've got an attack point advantage, this is not necessarily going to be a walkover. We can still pull a victory out of this. Not so far. Alright, so Lightning Artillery Army number 2. You are going to overrun those pitiful German riflemen. Now! Overrun. Sire, we have captured the German city of Salzburg, and we have taken 66 gold pieces. We've also now have Mary Curie. I see. And lo and behold, everybody, this is why you don't build roads. This is why you don't just randomly build roads. The road is not a way to connect your empire, or at least, rather, not for you. You know what the road is? All it is it's your enemy's path to attacking you even quicker. That's all it is. So, because of that road, look how quickly Salzburg fell. Absolutely no effort, and it went down. However, it is still being in danger of culture flipped, so we're going to have to take some preparations, or some preventative measures there to ensure that that doesn't happen and that he doesn't get one of my 2 units that I put in there. Especially since that's Berlin, that's the next city, and I can't counter culture flip that. You cannot culture flip another person's capital. However, you can culture flip a capital if it is in the hands of someone it didn't originally belong to. So, for instance, if I take Berlin, he could culture flip it back from me, assuming he had the ability to do so. But I can't take it from him. Let's see. It looks like we're nearing the next 15-minute mark. Again, I might be short. I'm probably short by a few seconds, but just to be safe for the sake of YouTube, I'll be waiting right here in my newly conquered city of Salzburg for you to advance to part 5 of episode 10.